Life is going forth. Death is returning home. Death stands above me, whispering low, I know not what into my ear. Of his strange language, all I know is, there is not a word of fear. If some persons died and others did not die, death would indeed be a terrible affliction. So proud she was to die, it made us all ashamed, that what we cherished so unknown to her desires seemed. So satisfied to go where none of us should be, immediately, that anguish stooped, almost to jealousy. Do not fear death, but welcome it, since it too comes from nature. For just as we are young and grow old, and flourish and reach maturity, have teeth and a beard and gray hairs, conceive, become pregnant and bring forth new life, and all the other natural processes that follow the seasons of our existence, so also do we have death. A thoughtful person will never take death lightly, impatiently, or scornfully, but will wait for it as one of life's natural processes. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear had gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Maggots and corpses he'd seen, whitely churning in the mouths of dead soldiers, where their noses had been, their ears, and blasted away jaws. Most of the soldiers had been men as young as he himself had been. Italians fallen after the Austrian offensive of 1918. You do not forget such sights. You do not unsee such sights. He himself had been wounded, but he had not died. The distinction was profound. Between what lived and what died, the distinction was profound. Yet it remained mysterious and elusive. You do not wish to speak of it. Especially you do not wish to pray about it, to beg God to spare you. For it disgusted him to think of God. It disgusted him to think of prayers to such a God. Fumbling his big bare toe against the trigger of the shotgun, he was damned if he would think, in his last quivering moment of his life, of God. War must be while we defend our lives against a destroyer who would devour all. But I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I only love that which they defend. Life is for the living, death is for the dead. Let life be like music, and death a note unsaid. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us, and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy,